Hello, what is up? I am pretty excited and hyped at the moment. I just finished Omensight like 5 minutes ago, and then I went on the Discord and spoke with the developers a little bit. Just loved it, man. Loved it so much. Omensight. This is by Spearhead Games, who also did Stories, The Path of Destinies, which is another game that I really enjoyed. And I was able to get a copy from Spearhead Games via Terminals Evolve PR. So thank you so much. If any of you happen to come in and check this out for a quick sec, thank you very, very much. I'm a broke ass gamer, otherwise I wouldn't be, whatever. Totally willing to pay for this stuff. So Omensight, I do have some notes, and I'm still like blown away by that last level. The whole game was beautiful. I love the art style. I'm a big fan of graphics like this, and of course also graphics like games in God of War and stuff like that. But I love the artistic style of this, and it's beautiful, the different environments and everything. And but that last level was special, and I love that about video games that have last levels that are kind of set themselves apart from the rest. You know, like it's cool. And it's also one of those ones that's like makes you wish there was more throughout the game, because it's not even like the rest of the game was bad. It was great, but the last level was special, and it was just like, wow. So I'm gonna go through my notes so I don't ramble too much on the same exact topic, because that just blew my mind. I loved it. I loved the story. One of the first things I thought about, so the basic story is learning how to prevent the end of the world by using time travel, which I love. I'm a big time travel fan, which is another reason why I like Stories, The Path of Destinies, because it's also time related. They're in the same universe. This is it's not a sequel, but it's the next game related to the Stories, The Path of Destinies ish. You know, there's no characters in this game as far as we know. Like same universe, but I don't know if they'll have a third game that'll cross over the characters and explain more. Maybe, I don't know. But same universe, but completely separate stories. So the stories is to go back in time and go take different paths, much like Stories, The Path of Destinies. Take different paths and find out how the world comes to an end and how you can prevent it from coming to an end. That's the basic story. And while you do the different paths, you see through the different points of view of the different characters. There's some politics going on. You actually, like, the main characters that you're seeing the points of view, most of them are like political leaders ish. That's the kind of thing. There are a couple other characters, but most of them you're seeing through the leader's eyes and all that. And you're seeing their story, how they kind of went through this, and it leads up to the end of the world, which is freaking crazy. Let me see. Oh yeah, the developers, Spearhead Games, recommended. I saw this on Discord before I even. Well, actually no, in the middle of playing it, on my like second day of playing it, they were talking about, you should play this. They were telling this to everybody, like, to play it on the difficulty called True Detective Mode. And I plan to play a little bit of that. After I make this video, I'm gonna go and play some more and try to check it out on the next difficulty. I played on normal, but the developers recommend playing it on True Detective Mode, which is it's interesting to me and kind of funny, because the way they want to present the game, that they're looking at it like this is a mystery game and you're here to solve a mystery, you're solving a murder, you're solving something. And when I'm playing through it, especially on normal, I see how it can be like that, but it reminds me a little bit of Murdered Soul Suspect. I think that's what it's called, Murdered Soul Suspect, where it's also this game where it's supposed to be this crime solving thing, but you kind of just experience the story rather than actually solve something. And this game's like that to me. That's how I see it. It's like, well, I could sit here and take notes and really pay attention, but I don't need to, because basically all I have to do is replay the different paths and do the different thing that I didn't do before, and it'll lead me to where I'm going anyways. You know what I mean? So, but I do think that it's cool that they want to, I guess, express it that way. That's the expression of the way they're presenting it. But as far when it comes to actual gameplay, I mean, it reminds me much like Stories of Path of Destinies. You just replay the missions and you take a different path. That was one of the first things I wanted to say. So Omensight it's very much like Stories, the Path of Destinies. If you haven't played it, you should. It's freaking cool as heck. but it's so much better. Everything is improved. To me, the entire time I played through this game, everything that I saw and all the levels and the mechanics, like the gameplay and just everything, the way it was all designed, it was like playing stories, but just so much better. It was way more fleshed out, and story was great. So they learned. They clearly learned, and they just improved. And this is one of those games where I'm talking about where you're doing time travel. So there's a lot of repetition where you're going back and you're redoing the same levels. But to me, it didn't feel as repetitive as it should. And I think it's mostly because each path was an interesting story. It wasn't like I'm just doing this for a quick side thing or whatever. Each path was something different, and that's what I liked about it. That's how I felt anyways. I really liked that. I thought it was well done, like really well done. So that was super cool. Let me see. Taking the souls of dead characters, their emotions become yours. Oh, that was an interesting part of the character that I forgot about. That didn't go on for very long. I think it was trying to think of how long the game is. Maybe I really have no idea. I didn't actually time it. I should have. Maybe 8 to 10 hours, and that's taking it slow and just kind of enjoying it. And I don't know. There's an interesting thing about the character that I wrote that down as a note. I'm gonna skip that because it's not majorly important. There's a lot of little small things in the game that are very interesting, and it's those small details that add as a whole to the game but aren't like important by itself, kind of for example, some of the improvements from the first game. The combat is more advanced, not like majorly advanced, but it's more advanced. You got a heavy and a light attack instead of the first game. And one of my favorite things about this compared to stories was when the XP drops, there are like XP crystals and stuff that you can get, or currency crystals. I think it's currency crystals. They automatically collect. It's a really small detail that I loved, because a lot of times, especially in a game like this where the camera perspective kind of changes very often, and that was another thing I loved. I love the way they move the camera. It's like this side-scrolling, top-down, 2D, 3D platformer action hack and slash, and the camera is kind of always moving until you do combat. The camera doesn't just move around or anything, but they present it kind of cinematic in a sense, as you move through the game, and it's just, I don't know, I like that. I thought that was really well done. So when you collect like the currency from barrels or whatever, when the camera moves like that, it often makes sometimes platforming a little awkward, and like you couldn't tell from the camera angle exactly what's going on. Same thing with collecting stuff. You smash a barrel, some crystals pop out, and if you were like running around in circles trying to collect it, but instead of that, it just automatically collects. So you can actually just walk away, and like a second or 2 seconds later, you'll see the little crystals like come to your character. So I love that. That was a small extra detail that I thought was super cool. I talked about the camera angles. Really nice, man. It zooms in and out, and just everything with the camera angles was, I loved it. I loved it. Super cool. And this is like a small indie game. This is a very small thing. Beautiful artwork, beautiful, just well done stuff, man. So well done. All right, let me see what else I got here. Devs know how to make a small game feel epic. I forgot I wrote that down. This is why I like to take notes. That's how I felt. And the more I replayed the levels, the less epic it felt, of course, right? You get used to it, but the first time through each level and each different environment, it's like, wow, beautiful and just super cool. And I remember the whole time playing it just thinking, like, this is a small game that feels big. And it really is, because it's just small paths that you take, small levels, but it feels big. And oh my gosh, I'm really impressed by Spearhead games, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Let's see. Radika's song. My gosh, Radika is one of the characters in the game, and the music, and again, everything. The music is also beautiful. And this was something I had noticed through the game. This is something that I talk about often with different games, if you've heard me or not. One of the things I always mention when it comes to gaming, because this happens all the time. If I'm playing a game and there's no music and it's just silent, I get bored so fast, even if the game is cool and fun. But I'm just like, where's the music? Set the mood for me, Like I can't go without music. I can't stand it. So the music in this game really excellent. Oh yeah, and I had mentioned that to one of the developers, and he said, if you get a chance to throw a shout out, I wrote it down. Where are you? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, give a shout out to the audio team. They are from Vibe Avenue. And I definitely have to give them a shout out because it's beautiful music, and I love good music in video games, and it drives me nuts when there is good music in a video game, but then there's all these silent parts, kind of like a Halo and a bunch of games where they have beautiful music at times. It's like a minute of music and then half an hour of silence. It drives me crazy. Just like, why do you have such good music in your game and you don't play it? So Vibe Avenue did the music for Omensight. And I'm not sure, I didn't catch if they did it for Stories Path of Destinies as well. But music is just great. The audio is great. Very cool. Oh yeah, so the music, the song, there was one part, the first time meeting Radhika, she's singing a song, and I just froze. The first, like, the first word out of her mouth, and the music that was playing, it's like, kind of like a guitarish, or some instrument. It's like a guitar. And it was just so beautiful. It stunned me, and I sat there and I wanted to go scream to the world like, this is beautiful. And I sat there and listened to it 3 times. Very short song. It like might be like 30 seconds long or something. I don't know. It's really short. It's beautiful. Like, I was just like, wow. Oh my gosh. All right, what else? The story just gets better and better. That's what I thought. Yes, I really enjoyed this story very much. They're all kind of bad guys until you get to know more of the story. Yeah, that's right. I didn't know. I forgot I wrote that down. So when you first meet each of the characters, almost each of them, they all kind of seem bad in a way. You know, like they have these bad things about them. But as you get to know the characters more and more, you understand what's going on more and more, right? You know, that's that whole time travel, going back and experiencing the different points of views and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. It's funny. My favorite character changed during the playthrough because of the different points of view revealed throughout. That Radhika was my favorite character for a long time, and I'm not going to say who the other character is that became my favorite character in case you play the game, because if I get into that, I might reveal spoilers, and I don't want to do that. So, let's see. That's all my notes, other than a couple little rehashes on the same stuff. Beautiful game, Omensight by Spearhead Games. Really can't wait to see what they do next. I've seen some reviews, and a few of them will talk about the repetitiveness of it, which is which is funny to me because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, it's the whole, that's kind of the way it's designed, you know. So I can understand it, but it wasn't, that's the difference between stories and this to me. Stories felt a lot more repetitive, and I loved stories. I have, I think, nearly 5 hours played on it. It's a very short game. I think it's really short. And they're very similar. You replay it over and over to learn the full story. This one's longer than Stories, the Path of Destinies. So yeah, the repetitiveness is part of that, replaying levels and taking the different paths. But like, if you didn't catch me earlier, you didn't pay attention, this one really did feel better. It didn't feel as repetitive, even though it plays out repetitive. It doesn't feel as repetitive, and it's because of the different, it's just so much better, so much well done. I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. Anyways, hopefully you give it a chance. If you have to wait for it to be on sale, just add it to your wish list. It's on a PS4. I believe it's also on Xbox One. I know it's on PS4 and PC. I imagine it's probably also on Xbox One. I believe it actually says on this freaking video. It was not, I just threw the video on for fun. But if you have to wait for a sale because you're like me, you're a poor ass bastard, definitely add it to your wish list and hold out for it. If you have the money, it's $20, totally worth it. And if I used to do this, I don't right now, I can't, but I used to buy games when I loved them enough to give them away, especially after I got a review copy or a free copy. I would buy it to give it to somebody. I've done this multiple times. I've given out up to 5 of the same exact game, like Batman Arkham Origins, Tomb Raider, Killer is Dead, Brothers Tale of Two Sons. It's a whole ton of games that I bought repeatedly so that I could give them away because they're great games. I can't do that right now. I wish I could. Steam and PS4. Oh, it's not on Xbox One, as far as I could tell from that screen right there. Oh, poor Xbox. Oh, yeah, poor Xbox bastards. Us poor Xbox bastards. Yeah. Anyways, great game, loved it. I don't know. I'm gonna go there. I love the game. I thought it was really cool. Yeah. So anyways, thank you for watching. I will talk to you later. Bye bye.